Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Foundry Virtual Tabletop from the ground up, Players Edition, as promised. So in the last episode, we talked about the interface, we talked about the character, we kind of talked a little bit about different options for your character and stuff, but I think we pretty much covered everything that you see here, and well, we didn't talk about it too much. I'm not gonna say there. And wait, did I talk about here? I think I did. I think I talked about the elevation, the targeting yourself, the conditions. Yes, I did, because we talked about blindness. And then I think we also talked about you can subtract health and add health. I'm pretty sure I did all that. So in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit more and actually kind of simulate some gameplay. Because what we did in the last episode wasn't necessarily what I would call gameplay. I need to get rid of this spiritual weapon real quick. All right, so here's our character. And they come up to this... is game paused? No. Okay, so they come up to this door. And for whatever reason, I'm left clicking on it and you can hear it's locked. So the GM might say, I want you to give me a sleight of hands or thieves tools or whatever else. I want you to give me a check, but I want it to be blind. So what the character would do then is open up their character sheet, go to their skill of, let's do sleight of hand, for example, click on that. We'll get this nice little window here. If we want, we can close. Like I said, I have everything compressed. On your screen, it might be bigger and you can have lots of windows open at the same time. So let's go ahead and do a sleight of hand. We have a +1 because of our dex, I think, is sleight of hand. But we're not proficient in it, so there's a 0. The GM wants it to be a blind roll. So we click in here, we click blind roll, and we roll. Now, on the GM screen, I can see that they actually rolled a 19, which is really well, plus that 1, so they rolled a 20. At this point, the GM can actually click on that lock with their right-click button, and now it's unlocked, and they say, you successfully unlocked the door. Now the player can come in here, and they can click on the door, and it opens up. So as we come in this tavern here, I don't know why a tavern would have a locked door in the front. I want you to pay attention to some things. I want you to listen because we have some audio that's going to be inside this tavern. One will be the sound of clinking glasses, people kind of just murmuring and stuff. And I gotta sneeze. Excuse me, I think I got that muted in time. Anyway, then we'll also hear a singer, which you can kind of see some fancy lights up here. So I want you to kind of listen for that, and it will actually get louder the closer we get. I don't hear anything yet. I can hear the music. I'm going to go mute the music so you can hear the other stuff, because I think that will be overwhelming, overburdening. So let's see if we can hear the other. Do I have it set right? Let me just make sure I have it set right real quick. It was working a little earlier, but nothing works quite right when you want it to. Well, now you can definitely hear it. So I'm going to turn these sounds off because we could have them all going, but then it's going to kind of overwhelm what I'm doing. But you can see you can get a nice ambiance going. So now we have the music going, we have the sound of the people. And the further we get away from that source, you'll hear that it gets quieter and quieter. Like I said, I'm going to turn off both those just because I just wanted you to experience them just to see what Foundry can do. So I've turned them both off now, so we can freely move in here. So we also have lighting effects all over the place. We have this one, which I'm pretending is like dancing lights that the performer is casting so that you can see better, or, you know, have a light show. Maybe you'll pay more or something like that. We also have various people in here. So if we come up, we can see that we have someone here with kind of a grayish green box around them. We have someone with a yellow, and we have two guys over here with red. What these mean is this greenish color box, that means that they're friendly to us. Yellow means neutral, and red, I'm sure you can guess, means hostile. So for this, I'm going to remove, oh, I can't remove it with that guy. This is where it gets kind of hard. I'm going to remove the other guy just so there's the one here. Yeah. And, you know, something goes on in the bar. This guy's acting really rowdy, treating the bartender really rude. So Brindy comes over here and tells him he better, I can't move him. I'm just trying to move him. Actually, let's put him there. So anyway, Brindy comes over and says, hey, treat the barkeep with respect. And the guy gets up and he brandishes his weapon. So this is where you move into combat. So we're going to right click here. As you can see, there is no combat going on. However, the GM can start that by clicking on the targets and putting them in the combat tracker. Now, the GM might also put you in the combat tracker, but if they don't, you can put yourself in the combat tracker by clicking on that sword and shield. Remember before when we clicked it in the last episode, it said no combat or no encounters are available. So if we do it now, you can see we're actually in the combat tracker. It will put a dice on the end. This is for our initiative. So I'm going to go ahead and roll our initiative there. And I'm going to roll initiative for our combatant. Right there. And I want to set one last thing real quick. Where is it? Did that not do it? All right, so now we can see the initiatives that we both have. We can see who's in the combat tracker. Now the GM also has the option of making it so you, like I could have 10 guys in this combat tracker, but they're invisible. So only the ones that I want will be visible to you. So now the GM's going to go ahead and start combat. The thug gets to go first. So he is going to target Brindy. Now you can always tell when you're being targeted because let me switch to targeting, because you'll get this little dot, and when you target someone you get those little arrows. We pointed that out, but when someone's targeting you, you get this dot, and you can kind of get an idea of who it is. It's the GM that's targeting you. So this thug is going to swing at good old Brindy. So he's going to brandish his, what has he got, a mace? He's going to go ahead and roll for a mace attack. It's going to be a normal attack. You'll see that he rolls a 14. That's an 18. Brindy, if we go look at her AC, is 18, so it just hits. So he's going to go ahead and roll damage. And it's a normal hit So she's going to take 6. Now at this point, the GM might remove it from you, or he might tell you that you take 6 points of damage. This is where if the GM does it, he will, take it off for you, or he might tell you, you take 6 points of damage, you just hit -6, and you take it, right? And that ends his turn. So we're going to go ahead, go to the next player, which is Brindy. So now it's Brindy's turn. So if we go look at Brindy's sheet, first of all, let's have her target. And remember to unselect the targeting mode. I can't stress that enough. And then go ahead and click on Brindy here. And we're going to go look at her options. Under her spellbook, if we scroll all the way down, we have this spiritual weapon. So if we click on this, it will put in the chat that we're trying to cast spiritual weapon. Now you might have things that cast as a ritual, in which case you do not need to have it consume a spell slot. That's the idea of a ritual. It takes 10 minutes. Spiritual weapon isn't one of those, but there are some that you do have that are a ritual. In that case, you would uncheck that. But here you can see now we've done that, and you'll see that Brindy now has 1 level 2 slot taken out of the 2 she has available. And if we scroll up, she still has 4 of the 4 available, and her cantrips, of course, are all available. So her spiritual weapon is going to spawn. I'm going to go ahead and put her spiritual weapon on the map as the GM. And she says, I want it directly behind him. Or to the side of him. We don't have him facing, hold on, wrong screen. Let's have him face us. And I think we're facing him, right? No, we're not. So let's go ahead and face him as well. So our spiritual weapon could do its attack. It gets advantage. Actually, does the spiritual weapon get advantage? I'm going to do it just so we can kill this guy. But I'm not sure if a spiritual weapon it gets advantage. I think we get advantage. But I'm going to give it advantage. It's going to be a public roll. So we're going to go ahead and click that. We're going to see a 13, which actually hits. So now we can click on damage and do normal damage. And there you go. It does 6 force damage plus 4, which is our spellcasting modifier, gives us 10. At this point, the GM will go in and do -10. Now, one thing you'll notice is there we go. You'll notice we do not see his hit bar. This is optional. If the GM wants, he can actually make that available to you, but that causes metagaming usually. So just to show you really quick, if I go enable his hit bar and say always for everyone, you'll actually see how much damage he's taken. Lots of times they don't want to do that, but I just want to show you, yes, it is optional. I'm just going to say always for owner. All right, so you've definitely hit him. He takes the damage with the spiritual weapon. Well, we're going to go ahead and let her do her attack now. So we're going to scroll out just a bit so we have a little more room to see her character sheet. We're going to go ahead and click on her actions or inventory. So if we have items equipped, if we have these things, the little fist doesn't have the plus on it, it puts it in the actions tab, which gives you a quick one click. So she's going to go ahead and use her mace by clicking on the die. You'll see now she got the attack. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this again or close it. We're going to go ahead and do an advantage attack because we have our ally next to us. You'll see she gets a 13. Obviously, it's keeping the 13 plus 2 plus 2. So that is a hit. And that does 17 damage. This guy is not looking good. I needed to give him more help. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and give him 17 more. minus 17. I keep hitting the wrong thing. So he is actually looking really bad right now, but he's going to get another swing in on Brindy. But first, Brindy has to end her turn, right? So we hit end turn, and now it goes back to the thugs. So the combat tracker keeps track of everything going on. Let's go ahead and have him swing once again. He's going to, yeah, he has multi-attack. He can do 2 attacks. I didn't realize that. So let's go ahead and swing once. He's going to attack. It's going to be normal. A 15 plus 2 plus 2. 19 hits. So we're going to go ahead and do damage. Normal damage. 3 damage. So Brindy's going to go ahead and do a -3. Take a tiny bit more, and he's going to swing again. Click on that. Click on attack. Click on normal. That is definitely going to hit. So do damage. Normal. Rolls a 3. Another 5. Now, I'm going to show another thing that we're going to pretend there's other characters, I guess, here. So we're going to go ahead and do a -5. Got to highlight that. Whoops. -5. Let's say she has a friend here that sees, let's say Brindy's gotten down pretty far on health. Let's take her down to maybe 26. And you'll notice I'm not doing minus or plus. I just want her to be at 26. So let's say she has an ally here that has the ability to give her temporary hit points and gives her, 15. So she can click on her character, and then underneath health here, you'll see she has this temp. She can actually type 15 in there. If they give the ability to have a temporary increased max hit points, you would put it in this box over here. So let's go ahead and close that now. And now you'll see she has this tiny little blue bar, which represents 15. If it's max, it will actually draw a little bar on this side saying this is her max, but this is her bonus max, I guess is how you'd say that. I'm going to give our bad guy some extra health because he only has 5 left. I'm going to put him back at his 32. All right. So that gives him full health again because he was going to die. But I wanted to show you on this next attack that when she takes damage, if temporary hit points are available, it will take from there first. So I'm going to give him 1 more attack, even though he's already used 2. We're going to go ahead and roll an attack, normal, and that's going to miss, but we're going to pretend it hits. And so we're going to roll damage, normal, and you'll see she takes 6 points of damage. So if we come in here, right click on Brindy, and say -6, you'll see it actually took her from the temp hit points instead of her max hit points. And if you go into her character sheet, you'll see it did it accordingly as well there. When you look at her total health in the thing, you might have also noticed that it added those 2 together. The 15 and the 26 is what gave us this value that was down here. All right, so Brindy's going to go ahead and have her spiritual weapon attack him again. So for this, I actually created a sheet for the spiritual weapon because I don't think she can... Actually, I guess she could. She could, now that I'm thinking about it, she could actually go back to Spellbook and have her spiritual weapon attack again, but not consume a slot because that's the summoning of it. So she could do that, and now her spiritual weapon can attack. And it will be with advantage. A 19 definitely hits. He has an AC of 11. So Yes, it hits. It's going to go ahead and do damage. Does a nice 10 points of damage. This guy does not have much health. So let's go ahead and do minus 10. And that, oh, I forgot to pass turn. It's normally this will go pretty smoothly, but because I have two windows I'm going between, it's kind of hard to remember. Oh, end turn, begin turn, blah, blah, blah. So that is the spiritual weapons turn. Now, Brindy, of course, is going to do her attack as well. So, and I did mention that you can actually drag things. So she's going to do her spiritual weapon a lot. It might be quickest to just drag spiritual weapon down in this spot here. If she's going to use, you know, her mace a lot and her crossbow every now and then, you know, you can actually drag those down here. And then all I have to do is click on that, click attack, click, oh, not normal. We're going to attack again. Attack. Advantage. I mean, she actually hit either way. She still hit. Now I can just do damage, normal, and he takes another 8. So I'm going to go remove it. Minus 8. He's almost dead. And that will be her turn. So she's going to end her turn. Goes to his turn. And he is going to attack again. I'm going to move his mace down into the window as well. I think it'll be easier. All right, so he's going to go ahead and attack Brindy. There we go. Attack. It's going to be normal. Oh, that was so close to a nat 1. So that's a hit. Damage. Normal. Ooh, nice. Max damage. So Brindy's going to take 8. Like I said, I'm going to remove it as the GM to just show you. I could do minus 8. And you'll see she just takes the damage. And then he gets another attack. So he's going to go ahead and do it again. And he's going to attack. Normal attack. Gets a 5, a 9. That's definitely going to miss. So that ends his turn. Now it's Brindy's turn. Look, I actually remembered to switch it. She's going to go ahead and click on her spiritual weapon. Oh, click on her spiritual weapon. I keep forgetting I have to, because this is the VM window, I have to actually click it to activate it and then click it to do something in it. So there's her attack right there. It's going to be advantage. We're going to get one round where I actually do it right. Unfortunately, the spiritual weapon misses. Swing and a miss. So now it's her turn. She's going to attack. And she gets advantage. Come on, get in at 20. I'm going to have her swing again because I want to see if we can get in at 20. Let's pretend we got an at 20. 19's close enough. So we're going to go ahead and click damage. Now we actually get to hit critical. Now, I don't remember if I have the module in here that will actually max one of the dice, but I like to make a critical feel like a critical. For me, if I roll a critical, and that means I get to roll 2 dice instead of 1, and I roll a 1 and a 1, it doesn't feel like a critical. So I usually max out the critical die and then whatever the other die. So for example, with this being 1d6 means I automatically get 6 damage and then whatever I roll plus 2 plus my bonus. I wonder if I can do that really quick just to make sure. System settings. Not that one. Oh, I don't have it set. All right, we'll see if this actually causes it to reload. It didn't. Okay, good. So now if I hit critical, it should do exactly what I just said. So as you can see, because we had 10, actually it probably didn't because I clicked the critical before. So in my way of doing critical is this would actually be a 6. This would be a 5, which is 11, plus 2, which is 12, 13. So it's off by 1. You can, I forgot to mention, you can actually come in here and say apply damage, but it's really wonky. Usually it's only the GM that's able to do it. So if I hit apply damage, it does it to the selected token, and technically I cannot select him. So I'll just show you what I mean. So if I hit apply damage, oh, who took that 12 damage? It was Brindy. So let's, we're just going to leave it. So as a player, you don't want to do that. The GM can also do that, but healing does work. So for example, if I got 12 healing, I could do apply healing because I'm always the selected token. So just be careful with that. Usually your GM will do any of the things that are done to other people because you can't really select anyone else. So anyway, that will end Brindy's turn, and this guy is going to get to hit again. So he's going to go ahead and swing his mace. Oops, wrong window. He's going to attack and normal, and a nat 1 is going to miss. Now, some GMs might have it where that does half damage to the user or something. I'm not going to do that right now just because it'll take longer. So he's going to go ahead and swing a second time, attack, normal, and a 2. Wow. Totally misses, which is good actually. Let's go ahead and turn. Brindy, you're up again. So let's click in the window to activate it. Okay, spiritual weapon. Go ahead, not using a slot. Attack and advantage. And it hits with a 19 since he has an 11. Yeah, it hits. Go ahead, do that. Do a normal. 7. So 11 damage. I think that's going to kill him. So let's go ahead and, oh, it doesn't. Minus 11. Enter. He's really close to death. So Brindy gets to do her attack. She's going to go ahead and attack with her mace. Advantage. That definitely hits his 11. So now she gets to do damage. Normal. There's 5. That is definitely going to kill this guy. So now if we do minus 5, he actually bites it. And he gets this little dead icon. Now at this point, the GM might actually delete the token or just leave it dead or whatever. But as you can see, now they are no longer of consequence to us. So let's say Brindy now would like to heal because she's hurt. She dismisses her spiritual weapon, which I can't do there. I have to do it as the GM. But Brindy's going to come over maybe to the table, sit down, and do a heal on herself. So she's going to want to target herself actually this time. And then double click. We're going to move over here and let's do a Cure Wounds. So as you can see, we have the option of doing this at a higher thing. We can actually choose up to a second, which we have one more slot because we've used one, we have 2. So we can say we're going to cast this at a higher spell level, which will automatically know to increase the dice and everything for you, which is very nice. So she's going to cast it. You'll notice now we have 0 spell slots. So she was going to try and cast this again real quick just to show you. It'll actually pop up a little error saying, yeah, right, you can't do that. But we do have our healing here, so we're going to go ahead and roll it. You can see it now says 2d8 instead of 1d8 plus 4, which is her wisdom modifier, plus proficiency. I don't know what all those are. So let's go ahead and say normal. And she's going to do 17. Now at this point, she can actually right-click this and say apply healing. Because it's her, she's healing. I wanted to check one other thing. Let's just do another no, not attack. Let's just do damage. I want to see if it actually works now. So if we say critical hit, a 3. So that's 3 plus 2 plus the 6. Okay, that's perfect. So it's only rolling the 1 die as the critical hit, but it's maxing out our second die, which is that guy right there. So that's usually how I will do my criticals. So now that we're done, basically that guy's dead. Now the combat might be considered over. So the combat tracker is closed down as the GM, concludes the battle. Brindy here wants to maybe take a short rest or a long rest. Let's have her take a long rest. So if we click on long rest up here, we can say we're taking a rest. It will be a new day. That's just saying, is this considered a day where things that say they will recharge once a day will recharge. So we're going to go ahead and say rest. You'll notice now that her spells have been reset, her health has been reset, and everything is good to go. So I think this kind of gives you an idea of how combat kind of takes place and the options you have. There's lots of things in your spell character sheet that you can look at. So, features, if you want to know what a cleric is, you can click on that and get your information. It's all right here just at your fingertips. I mentioned that you can, if we, for example, didn't want an action to be an unarmed strike, we could come into inventory, click on that guy, and now it'll have a little plus by it, but it's no longer listed as an action. But all our different spells are. So we can actually go through and do that. If we have, let's say we are using a shield, but we also have a two-handed weapon. If we want to stow our shield, which means we lose 2 of our AC, we would just click on that shield to unequip it, and you'll see it automatically knows to decrease our hit points, or our armor class. So it's got lots of really cool automation built in. There's even macros you can do that will put a torch if it's dark and you don't have dark vision. You can have a torch that pops, lights up your character for you. And you can even write a macro. I've written one that will actually subtract one of your torches. And if you have 0 torches, you can't light a torch, obviously. So lots of neat things you can do. There's effects in here. If you have a ring of, lion strength or something along those lines, you can have those. These will all be things. You can do your biography if you want to add your personal traits, ideals, bonds, flaws, your alignment, what you look like. You can go in here and add pictures and all that fun stuff that we've talked about. If you use your channel divinity or something like that, if we, want to use our channel divinity, whatever that is, whichever one we're using, whether it's turn undead, we would come in here and just mark this down. Or sometimes, let's just see if it actually works right. I think it might. So if we use that, then we just simply say, okay, we've used that, delete that, now we have 0. It does say that it recharges on a short or long rest. So we could take a short rest and just take a rest. We weren't using any hit dice to restore health, but you can see it fixed everything up. So I think that's going to end it, my friends. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. And don't forget to tell other people about this channel. Have them check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. We can grow the channel. And it'll just be awesome. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.